Boy, oh boy, oh boy. First of all, I don't know if you guys have been paying a lot of attention, but there have been a few controversial calls, and they all seem to have gone in favor of your school, Dub, Auburn. And you've won 3 football games this season, and all 3 of them have featured calls that went in your favor. You had the touchdown that should have been a touchdown for Kentucky that was overruled, and as a result, Auburn kept the lead going into the second half. You had the situation at the end of the Arkansas game when your quarterback, Bo Nix, appears to have spiked the football backwards, which should have been a fumble recovery for Arkansas. Instead, it was ruled that it was intentional grounding. And as a result, Auburn won the football game after making a field goal. And then there was a touching of the football that happened, and the SEC basically announced that they blew that, and then they fined Lane Kiffin $25,000, and he has now said that he is potentially going to pay all of the $25,000 fine in pennies, and a $25,000 fine would equal, I believe I'm correct in this, 250,000 pennies. Actually, I'm wrong. See, I'm reading from Outkick. It would take 2.5 million pennies to pay the $25,000 fine. Anyway, the point on this is that Lane Kiffin is going at it with the SEC. And, Dub, I will bring you in as an Auburn man, and I will ask you point blank, should you apologize to college football fans across the SEC and the country for Auburn somehow managing to get 3 different incorrect calls ruled in your favor so that you can manage to go 3-2 to start the season?
It's every sports fan's favorite excuse, basically, to blame the refs, and I've been there plenty of times. I've blamed the refs for the Auburn Tigers, for the San Antonio Spurs, and beyond. I'm not going to lie, it feels pretty good having the refs on my side. 3 wins, we're 3-2.
You could be 0-5 if the calls had been made correct.
Oh, there's no question about that. And 0-5 is probably what we should be. 3-2, I'll take it. I cannot wait to see what kind of calls we get next week against LSU. So thank you, referees. Thank you, SEC. Apologies to Lane Kiffin, although I do sincerely hope he does pay that fine with 2.5 million pennies. I'm curious to see what the numbers. Do you think there's 2.5 million pennies in the entire state of Mississippi?
I have no idea, but I think the joke is on Lane Kiffin. I think they just automatically deduct it from his paycheck.
Oh, well,
right. I mean, I think when you get fined by the league, you don't get the opportunity to get the money, and then they write a check back out of it. I think they just take it automatically out of your paycheck.
Well, maybe he could send a little tip or something.
Yeah, I mean, I do think he can probably afford it, and maybe he could make a $25,000 donation to somebody that he thinks is money well spent. But the one positive is, at least when you get fined, you get to count that as a charitable donation, which means you get the tax cut, tax break in terms of all the money that you're giving out. But I can't imagine, Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC, has been on this show a lot. And Lane Kiffin has been on this show a lot too. I can't imagine that the commissioner of the SEC is going to be very favorably disposed towards Lane Kiffin, even if he's making jokes, which I think is pretty funny. And we certainly wrote about it at Outkick. As I read the latest, you can go read the latest in every sports story basically at Outkick.com. But I can't imagine that Greg Sankey is looking very favorably upon Lane Kiffin, drawing even more attention to this errant play call and how people are responding to it, because there was already this idea that Auburn had gotten a lot of beneficial calls over the years, and now to be 3-2 and in all 3 of those wins to have had a questionable call made that broke in Auburn's favor is it's amazing. But that's what Auburn does. They do have an incredible amount of luck.